Atlantic Treaty naval and air forces are put through rigid tests in the Mediterranean during one of the most extensive maneuvers of its 5-year-old existence. American, British, and French sea and air arms make a closely knit team as they ward off a simulated submarine attack between Gibraltar and Malta. The main objective of Exercise MedFlex is to increase the flexibility and coordination of the participating units. No operation of this magnitude is accomplished without minor casualties, and one is coming up as jet plane hits with crippled landing gear, but skids to a safe landing from which the pilot walks away uninjured. A fitting tribute to NATO's 5th birthday. A fighting force takes shape. Barcelona, Spain goes wild as a good portion of the city swarms to the dock to welcome the Liberian steamer Semiramis, bearing 286 Spaniards held prisoner by Russia since the end of World War II. The men, some in poor physical condition, are former members of the Blue Brigade who enlisted to fight under Hitler's banner. Delirious reunions follow as the all but forgotten men rejoin their families after more than a decade in forced labor camps. Another red olive branch to the west. An aerial Noah's Ark stands ready to receive its live cargo, which begins with a consignment of bees destined to restock ravaged Korean farms. Next come truckloads of goats, which form the backbone of the Korean farmers' livestock. Collected by church and civic groups, 100 goats are loaded into special pens aboard the plane, joining the 1.5 million bees. Last but not least are 600 rabbits who go to help revitalize a country whose land was so bitterly contested for 4 years. Our forces in Korea, too, are extending aid to many of those peasants uprooted by the years of combat, making available territory behind the lines north of the 38th parallel. Major General Carter Magruder welcomes a group that will settle in this area, long a battlefield but now lying fallow. The brief ceremony over, work begins at once. Simple frame houses are quickly erected with women and children helping. Soon they'll begin cultivating the fields, and the ground where bitter combat raged will yield crops desperately needed by war-ravaged Korea. Another step on the long road to recovery. With the arrest of 7 men in San Francisco, one of the largest dope smuggling rings of recent years is smashed. The seized heroin and opium is the nucleus of what would have been a flood of narcotics worth millions on the national drug market. The illicit narcotics were smuggled into the country from Red China by way of Hong Kong, which federal agents say is one of the world clearinghouses for opium from the Orient. Magazines with the center cut out are used to conceal drugs worth hundreds of thousands. Much of the captured contraband was in the process of being prepared for distribution when seized by federal agents whose eternal vigilance around the world safeguards America. From Hanford Plutonium Works, a look at the latest in fashions for atomic energy technicians working in hot areas. This room is contaminated with radioactive dust, and that plastic gargoyle, the newest type safety suit with a long, hollow tail that allows a technician to enter from outside. The suit is kept inflated by a slightly higher air pressure than the hot room. He wears a face mask to ensure a fresh air supply. It's a great improvement over earlier safe coveralls, bulky, cumbersome, and likely to accumulate contaminated dust. The new suit cuts out some really impressive laundry bills. A transparent facepiece gives clear vision. Shielded from hot particles by the plastic skin, the technician does his job in reasonable comfort. It's weird but practical. Another example of the ingenuity and care that keep our atomic plants safe. The biggest ceremony of its kind in post office history sees Secretary Dulles, President Eisenhower, and Postmaster Summerfield take part in the introduction of the first stamp with a religious message. As a memento of the occasion, Postmaster Summerfield presents the President with an album containing a block of the new 8-cent stamps destined to become collector's items. The new stamp will carry to the world America's message of liberty and faith. Meet Big Bertha, just over 2 weeks old and the tiniest foal ever. A mere 13 pounds at birth, standing only 20 inches high, the tiny filly's survival was considered impossible. The frisky little critter had mama at a loss. They had to bottle feed her. Today she stacks up as just half the size of a 1-week-old colt, but the tiny tyke is just beginning to feel her oats. spring and a young man's fancy. Yes, sir, it's love at first sight when school kids in Jackson Heights, Long Island get a glimpse of the latest in yo-yos and yo-yo techniques. Demonstrators are mobbed by avid youngsters of all ages, eager to learn all the strings of the spinning sport that's sweeping the country this spring. A musical master plays by ear. Yo-Yo's Willie Hoppy hits the side pocket. Dixie Doin's at Cypress Gardens, Florida, the 7th annual water ski tournament. So raise the flag, Dixie dolls. The stars of seagoing skiing are in top form today. Stars like Dick Pope, Jr., all kinds of a champion, and right now a champ on the slalom run, and we mean run. Dick is really rolling along at breakneck speed. The jumpers are the hit of the show. What a hit. That's not healthy. To be wise and a winner, do like Alfredo Mendoza here. He set a new world's record of 99 feet.